Hi, this is No Ordinary Voice of Spiritual Ventriloquism. You are listening to the dummy himself. Well, this has been coming up a lot lately. People, a conversation a couple weeks ago, I believe it was, might have been Will Gomez and Jason Sale, and talking about, the subject came up about using the words Lord, Baal, or Gad, or God, or, as if that's some, what do you say, has some type of pagan connotation. And I see this come up a lot lately. I was even looking at a thread today where a brother was asking about, possibly getting a Bible that didn't use the word Lord or Baal or God, and then it, meaning God meaning Gad. And then in the process of that, I felt like, maybe now's the time to maybe, what do you say, throw my hat in the ring and kick the tire once myself. I can't help it if this doesn't seem to be just a tad bit superstitious. Because, without defining or identifying a deity by name, and that's the whole subject matter. That's the whole question, is using a name when the titles that they are taking issue with are just that. They're titles. We haven't even gotten to a name yet. And that's the thing that happens with this Hebrew roots, sacred name, messianic, redheaded stepchild, Jewish cast-off ideas, that, people get a tendency to look for a devil around behind too many bushes, and what I really want to say is it's superstitious. I mean, it's almost as superstitious as thinking that somebody's baptism isn't valid because body takes over and they're going to be naturally buoyant in water and their leg comes up or something, like you got to dunk them again, Superstitious. I mean, where does that come from? Romans chapter 6, verse 142? I mean, where do you get that? Knowing that a lot of baptisms were actually performed with large clay jars of water where they would literally dump and immerse the person over their head with water, as well as being, dunked in the water if you were in a river or a stream or something. There were other ways in which they were baptism. And baptism in itself was just a takeoff from the ceremonial cleansing of the washing of the priesthood, and they had vessels. Jesus, you can even see where they did their ceremonial cleansings with vessels of water. I mean, he made wine out of the vessels. So I'm trying to figure all this out, because people get into this Lord equals Baal, God equals Gad, ridiculous stuff. And it has no founding. The word Lord just means master. So now do we have to circumcise the word more in the Hebrew, or Moriah in the Aramaic? Do we have to stop using those terms, master, because that's what means Lord? Lord, master, Baal. Baal just means master. So now, it just doesn't make any sense. And like I said, I think it gets down into the, starts to degenerate into the realm of suspicion and superstition when you're trying to equate a title to a proper name. And we don't know which Baal we're talking about unless you put a proper name to it. Baal Peor, Baal Zebub, Baal Molech. How how can you equate those all as the three same divinities when they're not? They were local idols. They were local gods that were worshipped on a local basis and were considered masters or lords of that dominion. So the word Lord is just a title. There's no pagan connotation to that. You have to become more definitive. You have to attach a proper name, like Yahweh or Yah or Yahweh or Yahuwah or whatever. You've got to attach a name to that title to determine whether it is Kadash or whether it is not, whether it is circumcised form or whether it's not. I think people can get to be all too superstitious, and even more so than the religions that they have fled from, you know? And what are you going to do with Hosea 2:16, where Yahweh himself is speaking through the prophet, and he says, in that day you shall no longer call me Baali, but you shall call me Ishi. So one title means you shall no longer call me Baali or master, but you shall call me Ishi, which means my man in the Hebrew. So if the Most High himself doesn't have a problem with the title Baali, what is your bitch? What is your problem? And why are you majoring in the minors? Do some research for yourself for once in your life and draw some conclusions for yourself and stop being a damn garbage dump for everything that passes through your ears, because it ain't all so. Some of it, the intent's right. Some of it, the intent's not right. Some of it's selfish. Some of it's, trying to make merchandise of people. Some of it is just as honest as the day is long. Okay? And God and Gad. Don't get me started on that. Why in the hell would Jacob name one of his sons God if it means Gad? Y'all are too much for me. I mean, I ain't got this all figured out, and I'm not claiming to be the sharpest knife in the box, but somebody better do something pretty soon about doing some kind of study or research on their own, because what you've been pumped with on Facebook and YouTube and all that by these outside the ministry people and coming up with these crazy doctrines, they're not serving you well. Anyway, if anything I've said has offended you, I'm not trying to offend you. I'm not trying to call anyone into question. What I am attempting to do here is to set the record straight with some semblance of sanity. Come from some type of a foundation rather than I heard or I read somebody say so. Come on. After all, you're the one that's got to pay for it. Hallelujah. Well, anyway, shalom.